So basically, it's part of who we are. It's part of living the baptismal covenant. The baptismal covenant says we serve others regardless of their religion, ethnicity, background, regardless of whether they're rich or not. We're called to serve. Jesus walked with people. He served the needy. He healed the blind. He helped everyone, and it's part of our duty to walk in Jesus' footsteps. And to walk in Jesus' footsteps, we need to walk with other people, especially with the needy, especially with people with disabilities, especially with those who are marginalized by the society and by the community. If we don't hold their hands and walk with them, I don't think we can call ourselves true Christians. I don't think we can be the living stones of the church unless we do this ministry. So the people we serve are not only people with needs of educating their own children. It's far beyond that. We serve people with real poverty, people who cannot afford to care for their own children. Some of our students, when they go home, they're not well cared for, and we can see that evidently on them when they come back. You would see that a child has lost weight over a long break. So although we ask the parents to pay a minimum something to aid in their kids' boarding, not for the tuition but for the boarding, we ask them to pay 250 JDs per year for each child. But we know that most of our families cannot even pay that per year, and we do give them discounts. We try to ask everyone to participate in something, that you're not taking something free, completely free, that you've participated in your own child's education, your own child's needs. But even asking them something as little as 250 JDs per year is not affordable for most of our students. One of the things we keep saying about this place, that it's family, it's a family. And we keep telling people that once you're part of this family, you're always part of the family. And this family did not happen by happenstance. It's an intentional feeling. We believe that it's the calling of the gospel to care for others just as you would care for your own family. And that's why we're intentional in caring for these people as a family. For example, at the beginning of this year, when I had my meeting with the staff in the boarding house, I told them that you're caring for your own brothers and sisters. You need to care for them. They're away from their parents, they're away from their family. This is their second family. And this is actually where they spend more time with us than they spend with their families. So it all starts in the boarding house and looking at those young men and women as part of our family, those boys and girls. You know, at night, if they're sick, we're caring for them. We're sitting there with a child with a fever just because it's family. And I think that's where that sense begins. It also happens with the older boys and girls. When you're older, you have responsibilities towards the younger ones. So for example, in the boarding house, when the younger boys and girls are done with a school day and they go to the boarding house, there's always older people helping them arrange their stuff, helping them make sure that their room is tidy and nice, helping to make sure that they've brushed their teeth properly, washed their feet, all of that. And again, they're there in the morning when they wake up to help them get ready for school, make sure that they've tidied their own beds and done all of that. So it starts in that sense of implementing that within the students themselves, but then it goes further to the school, where teachers also interact with these kids as if they're their own. As we know, the family of God extends wide to everyone. And it's not only for Christians. Not only Christians are in the family of God. Every human being is part of this family. So our family is open to anyone who wants to support and be part of the family. You can become a part of our family by simply praying for us. But then if you feel the need, if you feel the call that God's calling you to be part of a family in a more interactive way, you can support one of our students, and that by itself means that you've become part of this family. And then the saying, once part of the family, always part of the family, even applies to you too as well. Yeah, thinking about the kids, our kids, a lot of time when I refer to them with the boarding house staff, it's like our kids, they're ours, right? So thinking about them, if HLID was not here, it's really hard. How would you feel if your child did not have the support they needed? If your child did not have a safe haven to go to? Jordan is doing its best. The government is doing its best to provide something for people with disabilities, deaf and deafblind. But the matter of fact is, they don't have the means to do that. We are the only boarding school for the deaf. We are the only boarding school for the deaf in Jordan. And we are the only school for the deaf that offers the deaf vocational training. They might go to other schools. They might go to a deaf school in Jordan somewhere else, but it will only be from 8:30 in the morning or something like that till 12. And the rest of the day, it's free time. And sadly to say, from our experience, from students who've transferred from those schools to ours, even the education is not as rigid as one would hope. And that's sad, but that's the case now. So without HLID, you can think of all these generations of deaf people who are growing up in the streets with no education, with no skills if they don't have the vocational training. And on top of that, being part of our family, being part of a boarding house with some rules. Compassion is there, but you need some rules to function. But that teaches them also social skills, life skills, and how to care for themselves. So without that, I'm sad to say, in Jordan, these deaf students would be in the streets. And now we're only talking about the deaf. If we think about the deaf-blind, we are the only center that offers what we offer in Jordan. So think about all these young people that before coming to us were curled in a corner in their houses because their parents did not know how to interact with them, did not know how to care for them. Think of the heartache the parents would have of seeing your child in a corner of your house and not knowing how to deal with them, how to help them. So that's what we try to provide. That's what we try to give those people. And it really is heartbreaking to think of what would happen if HLID was not here or could not sustain itself anymore.